Greetings, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CrossFactorComm's discussion of E3 2016. It's been about, give or take, 2 weeks since it happened, and we're just getting to it now.
Yeah.
Okay, we apologize for the late response to this. Me not really watching E3 first, day one. I had to follow up on that one at least last week. I pretty much marathoned the whole thing. So now I have a full take on what I like to say about the upcoming goodies for from said companies. So anyway, let's get started.
Okay, so first on the list, I don't really have a particular order for this. I'm just looking at a list that has everything. So I guess we'll start with 2K games first. So
What did they show
2K
again?
game. So at E3 they showed Battleborn. And I'm going to be honest, I didn't even bother watching because I really have no interest in Battleborn personally.
Isn't Battleborn that Gearbox Overwatch clone?
It's basically Overwatch if it was made by Gearbox, and there's a reason why everyone's picking Overwatch instead.
Yeah, and it has a single player mode, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah.
Okay, and then next.
Yeah.
So, Jerome, I assume you got nothing to say for that?
Yeah, unfortunately, I did not get into Overwatch. Yeah, I have my reasons. I'm not really the first-person shooter type of player, so I don't really have much to say on that.
Okay, so next
all
up on
all
the
I
docket
can say
for
about
2K
that
games.
is that I don't trust Gearbox after Aliens. So, yeah.
Fair enough. Okay, but next on the docket for 2K games, we've got Civilization Revolution 2 Plus for PS Vita. I know very little about the Civ Rev games, but from what I've played them before, they're nice little games. I personally don't really have an interest in that kind of genre of game, but it's nice for people who want it.
Probably doesn't help the fact that it's sitting on a niche system.
I was
Yeah.
just about to say that.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that I don't really understand as to why Vita of all things. But hey, I'm not the one making the game.
Don't get me
I don't
wrong,
have a
I
Vita,
mean,
so I don't really care that much.
Don't get me wrong. I've been interested in taking a Vita like every now and then. But
Taking a Vita?
buying. Sorry,
You
buying.
steal Vitas?
you know what I mean. I was.
Hey man, no one's buying them. You might as well give it for free.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I was interested in the Vita for some time. I do have a friend who's been constantly recommending certain games off of it, and he's also been constantly telling me, the great games that are on the Vita that we're supposedly missing out on.
Well, there are good games on the Vita. Don't get us wrong. It's
nothing really driving me to get a Vita. Still, it's. I mean, at the end of the day.
The only reason I would get a Vita at this point is for the visual novels and for anime games.
Danganronpa.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Pretty much.
Okay. Well, moving on. That was just a brief tangent.
So moving on next for 2K games, we've got Mafia 3 coming out on PC, PS4, and Xbox One. And I'm gonna be honest, while I don't really care much for the Mafia series or really games in that genre, I have to admit, Mafia 3 does have my interest with one of the new mechanics that they were talking about. I'll just give a quick overview for you guys that don't know. Essentially, Mafia 3 is implementing... I know this is going to sound really stupid, but...
Actually, before you get into that, could you just... I'm not familiar with Mafia either. You mind just shedding a little bit of light on what that is?
Oh, Mafia is basically... It's pretty much what it sounds like. It's a game about the Mafia.
Is it like a Grand Theft Auto level type of game, or...?
It's similar... in genre, I guess, but from what I've seen of the games, they don't really play much alike at all.
Oh, okay. So no open world or that type of deal.
No, it is open world. It's just basically the structure of the game is a lot different from GTA from what I've seen.
All right.
But anyway, as I was saying, the interesting thing that gets Mafia 3 for me is that it's implementing a racism mechanic.
Wait, what?
Like the main character is a person of color. It's a black guy. So for certain areas in the game, certain people might be more aggressive to you depending on your skin color, and then other places might not. And it's a really big risk to do something like that, especially in this modern age.
Look. At the end of the day, it's not like the demographic is aimed towards children, and also it's a taste of real life.
Yeah, it's a
pretty
reflection
much
of the real world.
Yeah,
pretty much.
You're not going to avoid that no matter how hard you try. You can try to filter out of your games, but it's going to catch up with you in reality anyway.
But you know what? That's why I can commend them for doing something like that, because most people would be very risk averse to do something like this.
Yeah.
I mean,
They'd rather,
if
like, most people would just rather pretend racism doesn't exist, as they do the racist shit, but...
Pretty much.
like I said, the demographic for that game is clearly not children. So if you have a problem with that game, you're an idiot. I'm sorry.
Or you're a child. Or you're a child.
What else can I add? Besides, there's other games that pretty much do the exact same thing, but they completely get away with it because it's not black people or white people or whatever.
And you know what? If that bothers you, and you know what? If you say, but that game's doing it, so that shouldn't be right. Well, you know what? I'm pretty sure while you were playing that Call of Duty game and you had your mic on, I'm pretty sure you heard much worse over the mics.
Yeah.
Not to mention the raging players who call you said racist names.
Who call you said racist names while you're playing the game.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, like I said, Mafia 3 looks interesting. I'm most likely not going to play it because it's not really within my genre tastes. But like I said, I can commend it for what it's doing. Next on the list for 2K games, we've got Sid Meier's, M-E-I-E-R-S.
Yeah, Sid Meier's.
Yeah, Sid Meier's Civilization 6. And I'm going to be honest, I have absolutely no idea what this is.
It's, well, Civilization's a bunch of, like, RTS-style strategy games. I'm not a huge fan of it, really. My brother is more of a fan. He plays more RTSs than me. But even though he mainly plays, like, Europa Universalis instead. But honestly, like, when I looked at it, it looked cool. I might get it, but I'm not a huge RTS guy or, like, sim guy in general, so I don't know how to feel much about it.
Does SimCity count?
Well, no, SimCity is, well, it's not an RTS per se, but it is a simulation game, so.
Okay. Well, let's try to I think we should try and focus on the more familiar territory, like.
Well, I'm just going down the list of like the big name stuff, like the big name, like from some of the smaller things that we probably won't know, I'm skipping them, but like for the rest of stuff, like I'm gonna include it. So.
Okay.
But anyway, next up on for 2K games and the final thing for them, WWE 2K17, and I have absolutely zero interest in this because I don't care about wrestling in the slightest.
Hey,
Wrestling's fake.
Can you still not see John Cena?
No, I can see him all right. He's right there.
But yeah, I don't really
pick
like
here.
wrestling all that much. Like, the only reason I sometimes watch wrestling is for the stupid, like, dumb plot things.
I
think that's honestly why anyone watches wrestling.
I only remember
I just
some
want to
of
see,
wrestling.
like, Shockmaster, like, burst through a wall and fall. Like, that's the only reason I watch wrestling at all.
I've only have small memories of wrestling simply because when I was a little kid, I was getting babysat by my aunt and my uncle. My cousins would like to watch the WWE matches, so I do remember a little bit of those type of stuff, you know, with Kane and all that, with those type of guys, but it's all vague. It's all vague memories at this point.
Yeah, but pretty much another yearly wrestling game. Moving on. Okay, so next from 505 Games, we've got, I believe Rocket League. I believe it was an update for Rocket League. I don't have the specifics on me right now, but I believe it was an update for Rocket League, and that's pretty much it.
I've been like really meaning to try Rocket League. A lot of my friends play it. They say it's really fun, but like
I don't know. For me personally, like it looks fun, but I'm just like I can't see myself playing this game for a long time.
It's a game you can enjoy watching, but you can't play.
Yeah, yeah.
No, but I don't even watch it though. I see it every now and then because people bring mention to it. I look at it and I'm like, yeah, that looks fun, but I don't think this is the kind of game I would invest time in.
Hey, man, you can't say playing soccer with cars isn't cool. You really can't.
No, but that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying it's not cool. I'm just saying like
I think it's interesting because it's just a twist on soccer itself. Like it's like a soccer game for video gamers. You know, it's. Like, you know,
pretty much.
Yeah, people who are
and that's why I said it looks interesting, but I don't see myself like putting hours and hours and hours into this game. But maybe that's just because I haven't played it yet. So
I do have it downloaded, so I might just take a quick dip into it. Who knows? Maybe I might just do like an impressions video for the channel or something eventually.
Maybe.
Yeah, but I should dip into it for the sake of having other thing, some interesting things to talk about it. See how,
Expand your horizontals.
yeah, essentially, yeah. I feel like I've been missing out on a lot, so I really should get into new stuff.
Okay, but that's it for 505 games for pretty much anything prominent. Next up is Activision, and first on the docket, Call of Duty Infinite Warfare and Call of Duty Modern Warfare Remastered.
You know, when I saw Infinite Warfare, right, I was actually getting really hyped, to be honest, because when I saw the spaceship,
I was thinking the same thing.
When he was piloting like the ship, right, that was actually really cool. If that's not scripted, right, you can actually pilot a ship like that in the game, I would buy that just for that section.
The reason I got into it, I kind of. I'll be honest with you. When I first saw that, I almost thought it was like a reimagining of Halo or something, and I think that's what might have gave me that ignition. To just
for me, it's just I just realized how down everyone was on this game. Like it wasn't last year, just a few months ago when it was shown next to Battlefield 1. But now that's almost entirely turned around by just this one trailer. Like as much even if I don't really care much for Call of Duty anymore as a series, this looks fun.
Yeah, it looks
like,
cool.
I'm not going to deny that.
Yeah,
it looks fun.
Sci-fi
it looks
cool,
like a
man.
lot of fun.
Yeah, it looks legitimately fun.
Yeah, I think it's just more I think it's just the fact it's more flashier and like you said, sci-fi. It's a lot more interesting to me. It's more in my in my column of interests when it comes to like settings.
They can do more with sci-fi than they can do with modern military, really. A lot more fun stuff.
I do recall watching my brother play Call of Duty Black Ops, the recent one. I think it's Black Ops 2 or 3. But when I saw that, I actually was interested in playing the game because it felt a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for?
Fancy-ish?
It felt more fancy-ish because you get to do a lot more things than just running around shooting people in a modern or recent past war zone. Like you're doing all kinds of tricks, really cool upgrades and stuff like that. Again, it kind of gave me a slight feel of like Halo or even for some reason GoldenEye, and I might actually give it a shot.
Yeah, and I think moving to sci-fi is probably Call of Duty's best decision because.
No pun intended, by the way.
They were really hampered by the whole ultra-realistic, like, modern military direction. Where I think with sci-fi, honestly, they can be more creative, they can do a lot of crazy stuff. Like, the whole piloting thing is what sold me on this game, really.
Yeah, and on top of Infinite Warfare, excuse me, they've also got Modern Warfare Remastered, which I think a lot, if the people weren't convinced from Infinite Warfare alone, people are going to be convinced by Modern Warfare Remastered if they loved the first Modern Warfare.
Yeah, personally, I'm not a huge fan of like the Modern Warfare games. I'm not a fan of like modern military in general, like style games. But it was a decent game for its time.
I'm going to admit I love Modern Warfare, and this is kind of pushing me to get this, but
I just think it's more creative.
I'm not 100% sure.
I think it's just more creative to me, and I think that, and you know what, to me it says a lot because it's coming from a guy who doesn't really like first-person shooters to begin with. Like as much as I have, don't really take interest in playing them, this actually makes me interested.
Yeah, like I'm speaking as a person who got off the COD hype train a long time ago. This honestly makes me feel like jumping back into COD. For a little bit, and then I'll realize, the same community again. Well, time to leave.
The raging dude bros
and little kids.
I would definitely buy it if there's a mode where it's just piloting like spaceships or whatever.
Going for your Star Fox dogfights, are you?
Yeah, forget what do you call it? Forget actually shooting people. I want a good mech game. I want a good piloting game.
I honestly wouldn't be surprised if there's going to be a mode similar to that. I honestly would not be surprised.
All right. Well, okay, we'll see when we see it.
Okay, but next up on the docket, Destiny: Rise of Iron, which I believe is another expansion for Destiny. I don't care about Destiny, so
yeah, neither do I.
I'm not that interested either.
I just want to take. I know we're going off a little bit of a tangent, but I just want to take the time to vent slightly because Destiny looked so cool when they first revealed it. And then as the demo came out and more of the game got shown, I was just like, yeah, this is going to be a Halo for multi-platform. And I'm like, oh, wait, this is nothing like Halo.
like my problem with Destiny is that it could have been like an MMO FPS style game, but it's not.
I honestly thought that. I honestly thought that's what it was going to be.
Yeah, because my problem with it is that it's not an MMO FPS, but it's also not a standard FPS as well. It's just like an in-between. It doesn't work.
Pretty much.
Like,
So it's like is it third
one
person
of the
or
main
is it?
components of an MMO is the fact that everyone has their own roles and they have to play by their roles. But like in Destiny, you're all playing the same type of thing. Like just shooting people. It doesn't get fun after a while.
You mean like every other first-person shooting game?
Yeah, but like
Well,
it's not even
not
like
necessarily.
as focused as a regular FPS. It's trying to be MMO-ish, but it doesn't have the variety of an MMO. And that's
Okay,
like
that's
the reason
what
I
you
don't
meant.
really like Destiny that much.
But yeah, Destiny, nothing really to say. Just meh.
All right, moving on.
Moving on, Skylanders, Imaginators, and
Crash Bandicoot.
Yo, that
Crash Bandicoot.
I just have to
That-
say
that's-
that Crash Bandicoot announcement in the Sony conference is the greatest thing of that conference. Because
Yeah,
for
that
one
was-
moment, when the guy was announcing, oh, Crash is coming back, everyone got hype for like one moment, and then it's like, oh, in 3 remasters, and then you can just you can just see everyone dying at that moment.
but granted, people are still excited about Crash 1 and 3, Crash 1 to 3 being remade from the ground up. But I think the disappointment came from the fact that people wanted a new Crash game, not necessarily a remaster per se.
I think I remember discussing this with a couple of my coworkers. This is how I feel about it. I think they're just doing the remaster first. There might be some future plans for a new Crash, but they just want to test the waters first and see just how much people want him back.
That's what I think of it too.
Yeah.
And that's from a business standpoint, that's a perfectly fine move. But of course, people are going to get excited, and then once they saw that, they just died.
Because I think when they mean by from the ground up, it means like it's maybe either an experiment engine for a new game, or they're just trying to test to see what like they're trying to be reminded of what worked well in like the previous Crash games that drove the sales, and then take those benefits and put that into one game and take it from there.
Yeah.
I think it's all I think it's just a strategic approach, and I think it's a good idea because you're being safe about it because you're already selling them on the fact that it's a remaster, so it's a game that we haven't seen in years, right? So definitely people are gonna jump on the wagon for that, and at that point it's just all a matter of what's the right choice to keep that drive going.
Yeah. Okay,
So-
5 seconds of lull. I think we should move on.
Yep.
Okay, so next up on the docket is I was gonna say Bando Namco, Bandai Namco,
Bando that guy.
Bandai Namco, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2.
It's Dragon Ball. I
It's
might
Dragon
get
Ball.
just for that.
It's Dragon
And-
Ball.
I mean, I personally never got into the original Xenoverse because personally it's not really what I'm looking for in a Dragon Ball Z game. But maybe I'll give this one a shot. Maybe.
I
but-
actually own Xenoverse. Let me tell you, it was a pain in the ass to get a hold of the PS3 version because I was not looking into buying a PS4, and the PS4 was even more expensive than the PS3 version. So yeah. Anyway, I got to play it. It was pretty good for what for what it was. I guess the biggest problem I had, and was probably what turned me off, was that most of the ways of collecting new moves or even like transformations, stuff like that, or even clothes, was all practically RNG based. But it was even worse because the RNG was also based on your rank. So you had to be really consistent until you get what you wanted. It's like It's like you have to meet certain like in order to get the Super Saiyan transformation. First of all, you got to pick the Saiyan race, obviously, for you to equip it at all, and then you got to meet certain conditions in this particular side mission, which is supposed to cause Goku to transform to Super Saiyan, and then you got to succeed in that, which is already hard enough as it is because Goku is in Super Saiyan form, and then if you do well enough, then it's the RNG's choice if they want to give you the power up or not.
Yeah,
So
that sounds like it
bullshit.
can get annoying.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
was really frustrating, and I couldn't see myself continuing to play the game. And it almost felt as though you need those type of stuff because the later missions and side missions got legitimately hard. Like I could not beat the Frieza fight and I felt that if I had the Super Saiyan transformation, maybe it would have had a chance. But that's just me.
Okay, so
All I'm saying,
next,
just fix that problem, and it might actually be a good game.
okay, so next up on the docket, God Eater 2 Rage Burst. I don't even know what this is.
Wasn't God Eater another Inafune game?
I don't know.
Like, all I remember about God Eater was that I remember hearing it's kind of a Monster Hunter clone. That was really it, all I heard about it, but yeah, I don't know much about God Eater.
God Eater. I don't know why, but I'm thinking, for some reason when I think God Eater, I'm thinking of that other game that came out that's similar to that felt similar to the Monster Hunter type of deal.
Also, yeah, God Eater. The only other thing I know about God Eater is that it has an anime made by Ufotable of the whole Fate Stay Night fame. But yeah, I don't know much about God Eater.
All right.
Okay, so I guess moving on from that, next up is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure: Eyes of Heaven.
Yeah, so I know a lot about this.
Phantasm begins.
Yeah, so that was it's kind of like a character action game in the JoJo universe. I'm excited, even though the plot's completely stupid in regards to everything JoJo, because you got like Dio's back, except he's got crazy bullshit powers now.
Is that really out of character for Dio, though?
Yeah, but like his powers were never this bullshit. He always had like compared to later characters in JoJo, especially like the villain of Part 7, Dio was kind of tame. But like, yeah.
And then like, you know what? He's a little too tame. Let's buff him up.
I'm excited. I get to play as all the Joestars in like a character action style game. I get to play as my boy Johnny Joestar with his crazy dumb bullshit like stand.
Well, first you gotta buy a PS4.
Yeah. When I eventually get a PS4 for Bloodborne 2 and Bloodborne.
Bloodborne 2 has not been confirmed yet.
It's gonna happen. I can bet money on that.
Believe.
I bet you 50 Monopoly dollars.
I bet you 10 cents.
All right, let's go.
Wow,
okay, but next up on the list,
you're gonna have to double that by 100 in order to get something out of it.
Okay, but next up on the list, Mobile Suit Gundam Extreme versus Force for Vita.
I don't have a Vita, but I like the Mobile Suit Gundam game, Extreme versus games. They're pretty fun fighting games. But yeah, if this came to PC, I would get it.
Don't know anything about Gundam at all.
And that's really a shame.
And that's it.
Well, in that case, you might as well invite my brother, because he's definitely the Gundam guy.
Rod, let me just explain it to you this way. The only experience I have with any Gundam series, essentially whatsoever, was me watching SD Gundam Force when I was like 5 years old.
That's not even like a real Gundam show.
Yeah, I know. And then seeing snippets of Gundam Seed before Inuyasha came out, and before Inuyasha came on, and I'm like, why the fuck is this on? Can't they put Inuyasha instead?
Yeah, Seed was not great.
Yeah, it sucks. If I didn't watch it when I was like an impressionable 5-year-old kid, then I knew it sucked ass.
Yeah, he should have watched some of the good stuff like Zeta, which had a Gainax ending, by the way.
I was too busy watching Inuyasha, Naruto, and slogging through Sonic X, pretending like I liked it.
Oh boy!
I actually really pity you right now. After one season of Sonic X, I was done. I couldn't take any more of that crap.
To be fair, the first season was actually the best season. if you have to set standards.
That's not a good thing.
Yeah,
it's not a good thing. I know.
Like all I remember laughing about Sonic X is they went to space and some weird stuff happened with plant monsters.
You mean Cosmo?
Yeah, something like that. And Tails fell in love with a plant girl.
That died.
Yeah.
That died.
I think the only thing I found hilarious was the questionable animations to some certain scenes.
Funny thing, I think Sonic X was made by the same studio that animated Berserk.
What?
Yes.
Really?
Yes. I'm actually I had to look that up. I think that's right, because it's weird because they both the studio that made like the most like not kid friendly show ever also made a kid friendly show like Sonic X.
Questions for later.
Yeah, questions for later. Okay, but next up on the list, Necropolis. And do any of you know what this is? 'Cause
actually,
don't
this is
remember.
the
I
first
Well,
don't
I hear
remember what
I hear Necro, so the first thing I'm thinking is zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of. But we're probably like completely wrong.
Yeah.
We're probably
I've actually
completely
never
wrong.
heard
I
of
hope.
this.
Hold on, isn't that honestly from the entire E3 that I've seen at least, I've probably seen at least 7 different zombie apocalypse setting type games. Is Necropolis the one that involves the people working together to kill off all the zombies?
Let me just search
Is,
this up
is that
for a
is that
minute.
the same? Is
I've
that the
actually
same
never
one? I
seen
can't.
this.
I can't remember. They're all mixing in my head because at this point I am sick and
No,
tired.
this
of
is
the whole,
a dungeon
whole-
crawler. It says.
Okay, well, never mind.
Yeah, like I said, we are way off.
Yeah.
Okay, well, well, my bad. I just heard. I thought Necro. I'm like,
Well, to be fair, I don't blame you for thinking that.